Hello everybody, it's the Crypto Cowboy. It's Monday the 21st of October and just doing a chart review on Bitcoin here. And I'm going to be posting this one on YouTube as well. So besides the regular videos on the room, I'll make this one for YouTube. So guys, Bitcoin is it's going nowhere. And it starts to get a little frustrating, for the lack of movement. But this is the market that we have. So I don't know what's going on. I don't think we either don't have enough volume or enough interest, or it's basically just a sideways consolidation. Ever since we've reached kind of these lows back in September 26th. Nothing. So it's almost a month of sideways price action here in Bitcoin, and it's interesting to see. I'm trying to read the price action. I'm trying to see, how I can interpret this market, in a favorable manner, and try to get prepared for the next move. But the more I look at it, the more I see that there's basically, you got two options. I mean, actually, you got three. You can go down, you can go up, and you can go sideways. So how is that for an analysis? And I know that's not why you're looking at this video, but there's literally no answer as of this moment, and I can dive down into the weeds of it and just say, what are the most probable movements down here, and we can try to anticipate what's going to happen, but the idea remains that we have to let the market show us its hand before we commit to anything. So, as much as I think, that this level it's holding, the 7,800 level it's holding, and I presented this into my video for TradingView down here, so you can see in this blue line, we've tested this level numerous times. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and it hasn't given up just yet. Now, does that mean that it won't? Possibly, but there's no way of knowing until the market actually gets on its way and gets out of here, right? So I got to get above 8,800 to start getting more confident and actually this is done. I don't see any impulsive move off the lows, barely, something very minimal on smaller time frames, but at this point it's anybody's game. So I'm just going to take you through the counts and just follow the price, keep an eye on it and just see. It's definitely a very hard market to trade in this range, and it's, unless you're very careful and you get in and out quickly, safely, that's one thing. I just, I don't do that anymore, but I wanted to make sure that the market commits before I commit to it a little bit more. So in this interpretation on the blue count that we've been following, and I'm trying to see if this is a move that's complete by counting the waves on the overall count. So we're going with a 1, 2, 3, a triangle in X wave here in a WXY with a completed move for a wave 4. The reason why I'm saying this is a fourth wave, even though we've spent almost double in this wave 4 compared with this wave 2, it's because we only pulled back 38.2%. Okay, and this is a characteristic that appears in fourth waves. For a second wave, and I'm going to show you on that on the next chart, for a second wave, we need to pull back more. So we don't know yet if this is a 4 or a 2, but, can wave 2 pull back 38%? Sure. And that means that the market is pretty strong and we're going to get aggressively to the upside. But for right now, this is my count and why this could still be a wave 4. Now, the more we extend down here, and I've said this before, my confidence that this is still a 4 will get smaller and smaller. Now, if this is indeed a wave 4 and we're starting to move back up higher because of this band of support, I want to see the price action confirm that, right? Like, I can't tell the market, we're embarking on a new bull trend until the market actually starts giving me signs for it. Now, these are the signs that I'm looking for. I want to see these levels hold, and so far, we've called for this at these lows, and we'll say, okay, we got a first impulse up. Just forget that we're even seeing, these movements up here, right? So we have this movement up, and we're doing a second wave pullback, right? You have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 1, and then we're pulling back into a wave 2. Now you go back up higher and you do another 5-way move up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these can be, like I've said, an ABC or another 1 pulling back. The market comes back, tests this level, pulls back, goes back up again, comes back, tests this level, pulls back. So, why is the market not selling off? What's going on? And I mean, it's had so many chances to break these lows numerous times, to go on and finish the bearish move, and it's not doing it yet. Now, either it's turning back and accumulates more sell orders, whatever is going on, and then it's just going to flush through it later on, or the market is done testing these levels and there's just so much support on here that it doesn't even, it can't penetrate it. So that means that the buyers are stepping in every time and we're about to move up higher. Now, the problem is they don't have a lot of confidence either, right? So there's not enough buying in the market to, tell this market to move up higher. And if I'm counting this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, which even this count is kind of tricky because you can see how the wave 1 and 2 of a lesser degree, it's actually bigger in size than this one of a larger degree. So it's not inaccurate. I don't think it's a rule violation, but it's just in terms of the look, you don't want to have this waves of a lesser degree be bigger than the waves of a first degree. All right, you would want it to see this at least this wave 2 have been a little bit smaller. So like I said, if we would ended up finishing up this move where this W is and then moved up higher, then I would have considered it. But I'm starting to have doubts in this. I'm telling you the truth. It's just because, it's for the reason I've mentioned. Like, how could this be such a large second wave? Okay, and this is all from watching, Elliott wave over many years. Okay, so I tried to come up with a bullish count besides a 1, 2, 1, 2, and the one that I came up with, it's where is it? Okay, it's this kind of crappy leading diagonal, right? And I don't want to make the counts. Fit, for example, necessarily a bullish, but if you're trying to count bullish and you can't come up with the good count, that means there's something else is going on. So that's why where Elliott wave is powerful, because it gives you this context. So, if we've reached this, lows down here and we're going up in a wave 1, and then we're coming back in a 2, you can have a 3, a 4, and a 5 be a leading diagonal. The substructures of this leading diagonal is tricky because you can, even have a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, or you can have a 3, 3, 3, 3, right? So, if this is a 5 and then you get a 3 and then you have somewhat another 5 here in a 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe a truncated 5th. I don't know how to count this in 5 waves as an impulse. Come back in a very small 4, go up in a 5. I have trouble doing that. And then you have a second wave down, so leading diagonal in 1, wave 2 pullback done, and we're about to raise up. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is another tricky move up here because you have a 5-way move up. So I don't know. It's just I have trouble counting this bullish yet. And then if I wanted to be fair to the market and to myself, I'm going to go to this count that I've worked on it this morning, and I'm saying, okay, every time you have a sideways movement that you cannot count, that more than likely it's possibly a triangle. And if it is a triangle, it's just still playing with us here for the next, couple of weeks, 10 days, a week, whatever it is, then we got to consider it. Because if I go on a daily chart and I'm looking at this move still as a correction, but instead of a 4-wave, having a second wave, which needs to pull more, right, either to 50 or to 618%, then this is a W, this is an X, triangle X, then you have another A down, another triangle in B, and then a C to complete Y, to complete 2. So, this is how I'm looking at it based on this price action. If it is a triangle, then it's got to be somewhere in the middle of the move, and then we're expecting another leg lower. Now, for this one to be completed, it still has to do a little bit of sideways movement. You have a 3-way move up in A, B, C, right? And this is how now you can have this move up as an A, down as a B, up as a C to complete A. You can come back in a B, multiple, wave counts down here, not impulsive. Go back up in C here, and if I go to a 2-hour chart, maybe this is just A of C. We're pulling back in a B down here. We're doing back up in C, and then come back in a D, E, and then drop back down. So for this to become invalid, I need to go above 8,800. I think this 8834, it's a critical level in the overall count in Bitcoin. Okay, because once we're taking up these highs, then something else, it's coming up in a bullish phase, and I want to see what that is. That's why I'm considering this important for the bullish case. Definitely, these levels down here of 7,800 are very important for the bear case. So if we're breaking through here, then we're more than likely going down, and then I have to go to this count, which says that we're actually in an A, B, and then somewhat we're doing this as a first wave, either a flat here in a second, and then come back down to complete this in a pin count. Okay, and I'm going to go to a daily chart here where you have WX, and instead of this B being a triangle, it's already a flat in an ABC, and then we're coming back aggressively into this wave C. It's just not happening yet. Okay, so these levels have to give either this one or this one to start getting traction. So now I have a 5-wave move up here. I can count it as a second wave because I need 3 waves. And if it needs to go more, then it has to be an A, B, and then another C up, and then you have 1, and then you have a very disproportionate wave 2 to give you this C. And I'm sorry for getting so technical in all of this. And if you're a new Elliott wave trader, all this, seems like a lot of spaghetti, but in my mind, this is all very clear because I've seen this many times. And this is how you analyze the wave counts, and you look at the market context to give you confidence in what you do. And when you don't have confidence, you stay out. Okay, because at some point the market will give you what you need as a clues for the next movement. Okay, all right. So this is in the spin count, and then I think this is the red that I don't have any more confidence in necessarily this. It has the same implication as this one, as the pin count, but it's just I don't think this is a 4th wave anymore. I mean, look at this. Look how big this is. And we would have to have a massive move down in a 5th wave to complete this as a second. So forget about that. Anyway, on the candles, I've looked at this. If you guys remember, I've looked at this as a bullish engulfing. It hasn't failed yet. All we did is we managed to, scramble a little rally up here, but nothing significant. So, I don't think it even has a lot of value anymore. But if I go back on a 2-day chart, let's see how these candles look. I haven't seen those. Nothing much there. If I go to a weekly chart, very sloppy. Nothing bullish coming out of this just yet on the weekly chart. Okay, guys, it's the RSI here is at the 50. We dip down, we're retesting it, so possibly a break lower. There's no signs of any bullish activity here from any of these candles. On the 2-week chart, just a big bearish candle over there, and nothing that says yet that we're about to embark on the new. So I'm looking at this just to see what the price, what the candles are telling us. Okay, let's look quickly at the moving averages. We're still below the 200. 50 comes down here. We're about to cross, so we'll see what happens. I'm not a big fan of all this stuff. I watch it, but if you want to add something else to your arsenal and just look, but let's the more stuff you have, the more complicated things get. So pick 2 or 3 indicators and just stuff that makes a lot of sense, and just stick with those. That's my opinion after almost 15 years. So I like Elliott wave, and I just look at the candles. I look sometimes at moving averages, but not that much. It's just these are lagging. So okay, let's see where we go from here. And hey, if you guys want to come visit us in the Telegram room, you can see the links below. Give me some thumbs up for this video, and give me suggestions of what else you want to see. I can do also. I've done, a few educational lessons as well, and some stuff that we're using and watching. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Thank you so much. See you later.